Yo, what is going on, guys? In today's video I'm going to be showing you the top 4 best grow garden scripts. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So if you guys are interested in any of these scripts, they'll all be linked down below in the description. So the first script I'm going to be showcasing today is SkillyBeta Hub. So let's execute that real quick. Okay, and as you can see, we now got the SkillyBeta Hub UI on our screen, and we can start using it. So one of the most important settings you want to turn on is anti-AFK. So yep, let's turn that on real quick. We can go into the planting part of the UI, turn on auto plant all, and then it'll just plant it anywhere we walk. And then we can also go into shop and then press auto buy stock, and as you can see, auto buys all the stock available. And then we can also open up the UIs, and then now we can go into auto. And then we could turn on autofarm under plants, which will basically put us underground so all the seeds can get to us. So yep, let's turn that on real quick. And then there's some other options like pets, auto buy pet eggs, miscellaneous. Nothing really important here. A pretty cool thing about this UI is that it has a client-sided shekels changer. So yep, we could just enter any number we want and then apply that shekels amount, as you can see. And then we can go into the final part of the UI, which is the event part of the UI. So click onto that, and then there's an auto submit pollinated option we can use, and we can also highlight the pollinated fruits. And then we also have stuff for the bear event here. Anyways, now we're going to go on to the next script. Okay guys, before we go on to the next script, please do keep in mind that none of these scripts are actually in any sort of order of like how good they are. It's just all a random order. So yeah, just feel free to take a pick on which one you prefer. So the next script we are going to be showcasing is H4X scripts. So let's execute that real quick, just like the last one. Give it a couple seconds. So now, as you can see, we've got the UI loaded. The first setting I recommend turning on is auto sell, and then now we can turn on auto farm and auto collect. If you do end up lagging like myself, go into the visuals tab, scroll down a bit and turn on remove plants, and then that should help a bit with the lag, and also turn on remove frozen shells. And then you can also click boost FPS just to maximize FPS. So now I'm going to go through other parts of the UI with you, just like the events tab here. So you can turn on buy honey items, auto submit honey fruit, auto craft, collect pollinated fruits, submit pollinated fruits, and then also collect honey again. And then now we can go into the shop tab and then turn on buy every stock if that's what you like to have on. You can also open up each individual UI just like the last script. And then now we can go into miscellaneous, turn on the buy banana setting if you have more than 850k cash. I do not currently, so I cannot do that. And then we can also have auto plant on here, and then you can select individual seeds. And then there's also auto feed pets option. So now we can go into the players part of the UI. So as you can see, there's just a couple like movement things for your own character like fly and no clip that would help with auto farm and auto collecting, as you can see. And then we can go into visuals. We also have a fake money thing on this UI we can use, as you can see here. And then if we go into settings, there's server stuff here, and then coming soon configs. So now I'm going to go into the next script. So now the next script we're going to be using is SpeedHub X. What I like about this UI is that every time you leave the game, it saves all your settings for when you next rejoin and auto enables all of them. So yeah, I'm just going to go through my settings real quick for you guys, and then we'll get onto the next script. For automation plants, have auto plant all seeds, automation collection, auto collect fruits, auto collect all fruits. And then auto sprinkler, I have that enabled. Automation eggs, auto place eggs, auto hatch eggs. And then automation sell, auto sell if backpack is max, auto sell. And then now we can go into the automatic part of the UI here. And then automation honey event, auto give pollinated to honey compressor, have that enabled, and auto collect honey. Another cool thing about this UI is that you can calculate your inventory and plants total just like so. And then now the shop part of the UI, shop seeds, auto buy all seeds. You can also do auto buy best seeds. Then we can do shop honey, auto buy all honey, blood moon, auto buy all blood moon. And then miscellaneous, There's a couple performance settings like the other UIs, and then we got inventory UI, which there's only one setting under this, which allows you to just see like how much you got in each item. And then now we can get on to settings, which just allows you to reset your config if you don't like it, and then reset it back up to your liking. Anyways, on to the next UI. So now we are on to the next and final UI, which is no lag hub. So now that we got it open, let's go through the settings. So of course turn on anti-AFK, and then there's server settings here, and then now we'll go into the farm tab here, and then there's auto plant spam, which is auto plants all your seeds. If you have a lot of plants, I recommend using slow. If you have barely any, then I recommend using fast. Since I have a lot, I'm going to use slow for the auto collect mode. And then turn on auto collect, and then we can go into the utility part of the UI. Scroll down a bit. Auto event, auto bear event, auto buy honey shop, auto sell full backpack. This is very important for auto farming. And then now we can go into the shop part of the UI, and then now we can do auto buy all stock. And then there's an experimental part of UI, auto hatch pet, which basically just auto hatches whatever eggs you get after 10 minutes. And then there's a Discord webhook feature that basically just keeps you updated via Discord webhooks, as it sounds. And then there's a performance part of UI, which basically is a load of performance settings again. And then there's a setting part of UI, and then you can use configs just like so. So if I'm just going to load my previous config now. If you guys are interested in using any of these scripts, they will all be linked down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.